And how have they got me feeling? What have they got me saying? You've just got to make a serious study of how others are influencing you.
Personal growth is defined as a process of improving your awareness and developing your ideal identity, maximizing your talents and your potential, and making the necessary changes to your life and mindset that will help you to achieve your most important goals and live a life that is as enjoyable and fulfilling as possible.
The Greeks had the maxim, know thyself. How do we come to know ourselves in terms of our personalities and, more importantly, potential? Well, one of the first ways to come to know yourself is to understand that you don't. You know, you can learn to kind of watch yourself like you're watching a stranger, but you have to adopt a position. It's a position of radical humility, I would say. Humility in two senses. So one sense would be the humility of recognizing your ignorance. So you have to understand that you don't know who you are. And that's not easy to understand because you think you know. But then, you remember you can't control yourself very well. You're not very disciplined. You're full of flaws. Maybe you don't know yourself as well as you think. But it's hard to get low enough to understand how deeply it is the case that you are ignorant about who you are. Now, there's an upside to that too, which also is that you're also ignorant about who you could be. And so the discovery of that, is some reward for the horror of determining who you actually are. And then I would say, well, then you watch yourself. You watch yourself like you're watching a stranger. You watch what you say and you listen. And you think, well, what sort of person would say that? And how am I reacting emotionally when I'm communicating in that manner? Is that making me feel stronger or weaker? Is it filling me with shame? Is it helping my confidence? Am I laying out a lie? Am I deceiving myself and other people? Am I adopting this personality at parties that is designed to impress and to amuse, and it comes across as nothing but self-centered narcissism? What are my dark fantasies? What are my aggressive fantasies? What is it that I'm willing to do? What am I interested in so that I'll spontaneously pursue it? What do I procrastinate about and why? What am I unwilling to do? What do I think is good? What do I congratulate myself for accomplishing? And what do I berate myself for failing to confront and to implement? Those are all incredibly complicated questions, and you don't know the answers to them. So that's a start.
Let me show you this. We all live inside a bubble, right? This is our world. We go to church here, we work over here, we go get our coffee over here, we go to this park over here, we usually go over here to, hang out with friends. This is our favorite club. This is our world. This is our favorite spot on the beach. We all live in this bubble. What you gotta do to get the life that God wants you to have, you gotta put more air in your bubble. You got to blow your bubble up. Expand yourself. Take yourself out your comfort zone. Do not live in your bubble. Put some more air in your bubble. If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself.
Having an effective strategy to help you achieve challenging goals can be the most important key to your success. So, to help you overcome any obstacle, I've put together my best practices for how to reach challenging goals wherever you happen to be in life right now. First, it's important to focus your goals on what they call SMART goal setting, S-M-A-R-T. Not all goals are created equal, and it takes a strategic and smart approach to reaching challenging goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bounded. Specifically for challenging goals, that A word for achievable is incredibly important. While it's important to push yourself out of your comfort zone, if your goal is not achievable from the start, you're just setting yourself up for failure. If you fear your goal has a high probability of failure, perhaps it is simply too aspirational, it's too big. Which brings me to my next tip. Break your goal down into manageable tasks, what we call bite-sized tasks. This helps you to keep your goals in motion and achieve them one small step at a time. You know the old question, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Same with big goals. Remember, each step you take brings you that much closer to reaching your goals. And by the way, each step you take motivates you to take the next step. So while they may not seem monumental in the moment, all of these daily tasks add up to incredible accomplishments. Similarly, my third tip for reaching challenging goals is to set specific milestones. You can help yourself stay motivated in any situation, whether it's hunting for a new job, staying motivated in school, or hitting a new financial goal by creating and celebrating milestones along the way. When you check a task off your to-do list, no matter how small that task may be, it is a victory that pushes you one step closer to your goals. Celebrate your small successes along the way, whether it be taking time off, spending time with loved ones, or simply reflecting on your latest achievement. These moments of reflection on your hard work help you to remember your why, your big picture plan. The fourth, and my personal favorite tip, is to eat that frog. Mark Twain said that if the first thing you do each morning is to eat a live frog, you can go through the day with the satisfaction of knowing that is probably the worst thing that's going to happen to you all day long. Your frog is your biggest, hardest, most important task. You must develop the habit or the routine of eating your frog before you do anything else, and without taking too much time to think about it. When using the Eat That Frog strategy, make a list the night before of all the tasks you need to do the next day. Once you begin the hardest task of the day, work steadily and single-mindedly until it is 100% complete. Next, implement the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, is one that can be applied to any goal. This rule says that 20% of your activities will usually account for 80% of your results in almost any area. When you break down the 80-20 rule, you'll find that 2 out of 10 items on a general to-do list will turn out to be worth more than the other 8 items put together. Understanding this principle allows you to prioritize what tasks will achieve the greatest result in the shortest amount of time. And finally, start achieving your goals now. The truth is, it may never feel like the perfect time to start making strides toward achieving your goals, but in reality, the only perfect time is now, not tomorrow, and not someday. Here are 6 of my favorite task management tips to help you stop procrastinating in your work and personal life. Think about which one of these ideas could be most helpful to you right now in your current situation. The first tip is you can get more done by thinking on paper. List every step of the job or task in advance. Break down the job into its constituent parts before you begin. Simply writing down every detail and thoroughly preparing in advance will help you to find a good starting point. Once you do that, Just keep on following the steps that you've laid out for yourself until the job is complete. Second, come fully prepared for each task that you work on. When you sit down to work or begin a task, make sure that you have everything on hand so that you won't have to get up and move until the task is done. Being fully prepared is a powerful motivator for staying with the task until it is finished. Third, take one small step to get started. There's an 80-20 rule that says that 20% of the task often accounts for 80% of the value of that task. This is probably what Confucius meant when he said that a journey of 1,000 leagues begins with a single step. Once you've taken even one small step to start the job, you'll often find yourself continuing on with the task to completion. Fourth, you can do what I like to call the salami slice method. Just as you would never try to eat a whole loaf of salami at once, don't try to take on all of a job from the start. Sometimes the best way to complete a major task is to take a small slice and complete just that piece, just as you would take a single slice of salami and eat only that. When you select a small piece of the task and then discipline yourself to do it and get it over with, it will often give you the momentum you need to counter inertia and stop procrastinating. The fifth method to help you manage your time is called the Swiss cheese method. Just as a block of Swiss cheese is full of holes, you treat your task like a block of cheese and you punch holes in it. Select a 5-minute part of the job and do only that. Don't worry about the whole job. For example, if you want to write an article or a book, break the task down into small pieces that take an identifiable amount of time to complete and do just one small piece at a time, whenever you get a chance. Many authors begin by writing 1 page a day. If you are doing research, you can read 1 article per sitting. Many people write complete books on airplanes or complete their college degrees with blocks of time between their other activities. If you wrote 1 page a day for a year, you would have a 365-page book by the end of the year. The fact is, you will be more effective if you deal first with whatever is causing you the greatest emotional distress or fear. Often this will break the logjam in your work and free you up mentally and emotionally to get things done. Before we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a thought to share with your friends and followers. Here it is. Start with the end in mind. What would your project look like if it were completed and excellent in every respect?
Next is habits. You just got to be careful of those. Smoking. Guy walks into an office and says, "Where's your ashtrays? How come you don't have any ashtrays?" Ashtrays probably mean what? No ashtrays mean. Right? They don't smoke here. Oh yeah, I forgot. So what I'm saying now, I'm not saying right or wrong to smoke. I'm just saying be careful in the marketplace that you aren't disturbing and wiping out and closing the door on a market you could enjoy simply because you're a bit careless about your habits. But you see where I'm going here now on habits. Habits. Zig Ziglar talked about the man who was late. I'm telling you, there's some circles, if you're late, you're not welcome anymore. You say, well, I've been late all my life, if people don't like that, that's too bad. I'm saying that's okay. You can have that attitude if you want to, but what if it cost you $100,000 a year? Wouldn't you reconsider? That's too much to pay for the luxury of some habit that you could easily correct and maybe enjoy the benefits of a marketplace that's been closed up until now. This is all I'm saying. Take a look at your habits. Take a look at your language.
Those subtle influences need to be studied carefully if we really want our lives to turn out the way we've planned. Now, on this major point, let me give you 3 key questions to ask. This may help you to make a better analysis of your current associations. Here is the first question. Who am I around? Good question. Make a mental study of the major people with whom you most often associate. You've got to evaluate everybody who is within the circle of being able to influence you. So, major question, who am I around? Next question, what are they doing to me? That's a major question to ask. What have they got me doing? What have they got me listening to? What have they got me reading? Where have they got me going? What have they got me thinking? How have they got me talking? And how have they got me feeling? What have they got me saying? You've just got to make a serious study of how others are influencing you, both negatively and positively. Now, maybe the influence of all those around you is okay, but just ask yourself, it doesn't hurt to ask, who am I around and what are they doing to me? Now here's the final question, is that okay? Maybe the people you associate with and their collective influence is okay, but then again, maybe it's not. All I'm suggesting here is that you take a close and objective look. Everything is worth a second look, especially the power of influence. Positive influence can have an incredible effect on your life, but so can negative influence. Both will take you somewhere, but only one will take you in the direction you truly wish to go. It's so easy just to dismiss the things that influence our lives. The man says, I live here, but I don't think it matters. I'm around these people, but I don't think it hurts. I would take another look at that. I've got a good phrase for you. Everything matters. Now sure, some things matter more than others, but everything matters.
Thank you to everyone who has always subscribed to our channels, and thank you to those who are just returning. Please help us achieve our 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers. So turn on your notification bell so that you get notified each time we post a new video. God bless you.